Hello and happy Friday to you. I'm back with video number 3 of the week. I'm in my office, but I'm sitting in a different spot, and you can see my Prince poster right over there. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world, and I feel like he's here with me doing the work. So that's why it's here. And it was done by an artist. I think his name is Jonathan Costratita, something like that. He worked for Pixar and did a lot of those animated movies, so that's why it's really, really good. Like, it is beautiful work. Um, anyway, hello, hi. Today, I will be looking at sovereignty, but from a little different area. I'm going to look at it through the lens of when you're working with a teacher. One of my personal things, I'll say it that way, one of my personal things is that whenever I work with a teacher or a person who is offering me guidance, intuitive guidance, or on my business or whatever, in whatever capacity, the thing I really look for is, are they offering you the space for your own sovereignty? Or are they being all guru star and, my way is the only way, is the highway, that's it? Because that is not an energy I work well with. And I've gotten caught up a couple of times in that energy working with teachers because I thought they knew better. And in some respects, they did, but one way is not the way for everything. And you have to be sovereign enough in yourself. You have to be solid enough in yourself to know what is true for you. And some people come into this world just knowing that, and they will speak up, and it doesn't matter to them. My husband is one of those people. If he doesn't like something, he'll tell you. He'll pretty much say what he feels about stuff, and I'm like, don't you think about what other people? And he does, but he's not somebody to hold back, mostly because he does not care what other people think. So if something's not working for him, he'll tell you, he'll say it. And I almost kind of marvel at that, because as a hardcore, serious empath who can feel the energies of what I would say to someone and know what the response would be, I'm very careful about how I say things. And so I kind of grew up measuring my words. And so in order to be a good girl and go along, I pretty much did what people said to do. But inside, I was like, nah, that's not going to work. No, that's not right. Mm-mm. But I didn't quite know how to communicate that. And as I got older and I became more settled in who I was and what I knew to be true, and that I could always come back home to hear, to my inner knowing, I started speaking up. And there was a time I remember, I was raised Catholic. My older cousin, she's 14 months older than me, she was raised Catholic, but she's very devoted to her faith, and I am not devoted to that faith. I'm devoted to the universe, but not through the lens of the Catholic religion. And I went with her one time to some classes, and we were older. We were probably I was probably in my 40s. And I remember so clearly the priest said something about, the only place that you can connect with God is here and through a priest. That's the only place. And I remember thinking nope. And it wasn't even like I didn't have to roll it through my mind, like, is that true? Is it not true? It was immediate, like, nope. That is not true. And really what that means is that is not my truth. That is not my truth. I speak to God wherever the heck I want to. It may be my cousin's truth, and that's fine. That's her life. That's between her and God. It's not my business, right? It's her truth. So you have to know what is your truth, so that when you get other opinions or ideas or suggestions, you can match it against, do I know enough here? Do I feel a certain way to have an opinion about this? I worked with a teacher one time who told me to take down all my blog posts because she thought it was good to have an air of mystery and not give all your content away. I'm a writer. I like to write. I like people to read what I write. Why would I do that? But I did it because I assumed she knew better. And the thing is, it worked really well for her in her business. So I don't think she meant any malice with it. She wasn't trying to be a badass or anything. That's what worked for her. And that's what she knew. But that was not who I am. And I didn't at the time say it because I thought, well, she knows better than me and I'm paying her some money, so she must know, right? And I eventually put them all back because that's really not who I was at all. And so I think you have to go through that a couple of times or like a million times or somewhere in between to really come to understand what is your truth and when is the time to speak that out. So I want you to give some thought to when you're working with a teacher, an intuitive, a doctor, whomever, okay? If they are allowing space for your opinions and your thoughts and your input, excellent. That's a good thing. They are creating that space for your sovereignty to be in there. And so I know I hark on about sovereignty a lot, but it is very, very important, especially again in times where they are telling you what you see with your own eyes is not true. That's when you have to come back here and say, what is my truth? What did I see? Despite what anybody else is saying, what did I see? So this really, I want to bring it back down to a teacher, right? When you're working with someone, be sure that they are creating space for your sovereignty and that you're creating space for your sovereignty. That's so important. And it's going to get more important as we move through this time that seems very fraught and chaotic, because it is. And when we get to the other side and we move forward from that space, it will be even more important for you to know what is true for you. So if you hear a teacher that you're working with say there's only one way to do it, it's this way, this is the way, you might want to run your ass in the other direction. I'm just saying, you might want to, because that person is not creating a space for your sovereignty. Now, they might say that, and you could question that. Why is it done that way? And, you know, you might get an answer that allows your sovereignty in, allows you to test it up against what you know. Or they might just say, you know, kind of like your parents did, because I said so. I know my face just tries to say everything, right? And I think that, you know, I am perpetually looking for the reasons behind things. So if you explain to me, here's why this is a best practice and this is what's been done and this is why it might work for you, okay, great. I am willing to try it, you know, unless it's like parachuting and I'm not willing to try that. But really, are they allowing space for you to just be who you are and for you to bring your truth into the picture? That's so important. And I think that's one of the reasons why I can't get with any kind of organized religion, because my connection with God is my own and I made it that way and I'm happy with it that way. And I don't do well with people saying it must be this way and everybody else is a bunch of sinners. It's not, no. For me, that is not my truth. Look at me. And there I am going, no, that's not true. But for me, it's not true. That has not been my experience. It's not my truth. And it might be yours. Okay, great. Okay. Right. So I think we have to really look at what is there space for you to bring your own self into the conversation. And to do that, you have to know what's true for you. So keep asking yourself, is this true for me? If you hear something, is this true for me? Might be, might not be. That's how you start your practice. Is this true for me? So that when you receive information that you're not quite sure about, you can test it up against it. Does that feel true? Does it not feel true? I used to, early in the days of my intuitive knowing, I used to hear, because I'm clairaudient, like I'm highly clairaudient. When I was a kid and I used to ride the bus, I could sit in the front of the bus and I could hear conversations going on in the back of the bus. I don't know why. And they used to call me antenna ears because I could just hear stuff. So hearing's always my default. So when I heard something or when I got information that was not true for me and my own inner knowing, I would almost hear like a clang. Like imagine that you took an old pot, like an old tin pot that you had, and you had a big metal spoon and you went clang, and it would be like, Moo. That's how it would sound to me in the early days of not knowing. So maybe you have something that fixin' for you that you know. Like some people, like their nose will itch if what is being said is true. Pick up on those things. Those are very helpful to you. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I hope you have a really nice weekend. I'm very proud of myself. This is my 3rd week doing 3 videos a week. So I'm pretty confident now that I will not be getting a purple boot up the butt. I hope. I'm sure he'll tell me. I'm sure he'll tell me. The thing is, I'll say one thing about this. It's not that Prince is mean ever, ever, ever. What I was telling somebody is that he asks you to step up to the standard that you hold for yourself. So when I said I wanted to be bigger, and I meant I want my message to reach more people, well, that doesn't happen sitting on your couch playing Facebook games, usually, right? And so he reminded me of my desire because I wasn't living up to the standard I told him I wanted to be at. And he was like that when he worked with people on the stage too. He held you to the standard, well, to his standard, but you had to get, like, his standard had to become yours so that you could be on that stage with him. And so he's holding me to the standard I set for myself. And he's reminding me, hey, hello, you said you wanted to do this thing. And he knows that that's all it takes with him, and that's the relationship I have with him, for him to remind me, didn't you say you wanted to do this? Yeah, I did. So here I am doing it, and I'm pleased with myself. Even if these are not terribly exciting yet, maybe they'll be more exciting coming in the coming days. But you know what? I'm here and I'm showing up, and I'm really pleased with that. So we'll let it go with that. Thanks. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.